Look, everyone, it's Yoan. He's studying. Hello everyone and welcome back to a new monthly listens video. It's that time of the month again. I know I usually film these on like the first of the month, but I just didn't have any time to film yesterday, so I'm gonna film it today. If I'm completely honest, I didn't listen to much this month. I mean, I listened to some good stuff. I mainly re-listened to a lot of stuff that I'd already heard before, so nothing overly interesting maybe this video, but hopefully in the next few months I will be doing some more discovery because I haven't done that in a long time. I'll start off with the first discovery of the month that I made for me personally, and that is Breakfast in America by Supertramp. I had actually not listened to this album up until recently and I really enjoyed it. I'm happy I picked this up. This is a Japanese version. I've got the vinyl as well, but I can't seem to find the vinyl at the moment, but this is a fantastic album. Goodbye Stranger is probably my favourite on the album. Still, it was one that I liked when I first heard it, and I still love it now. I still re-listen to it very often, and it was just a really good album. And we usually have these like music night things, me and my family, and my mum played this album for one of the nights, and I got to know the album a bit better. So this is a fantastic album, and one that I don't really need to explain too much into because you guys will already know it. Okay, so if you remember at the beginning of the month, for those who have seen the video, I did a review with notes reviews. If you have not checked that out, by the way, I'll put it up in the eye there, of Black Clouds and Silver Linings by Dream Theater, and I did listen to it a lot that month actually, in the beginning of the month, because I was getting to re-know the album. I hadn't listened to this album for a good year and a bit, so revisiting it was actually really refreshing, and it made me realise why this is my favourite Dream Theater album, possibly my favourite kind of modern progressive rock album. I know a lot of people don't really like this album, a lot of people think it's kind of weak, but I really love it. I mean, Count of Tuscany is one of my favourite progressive rock epics of all time, and you know, A Nightmare to Remember, which opens up the album, and everything in between is just works so nicely, and I really am glad I re-listened to it again, because I've been listening to it non-stop now. It's fantastic, and if you have not listened to this, definitely check it out. It's still my favourite Dream Theater album. It used to be Octavarium, but the thing is I bounce back and forth between those two. Like, sometimes it's this one, sometimes it's that one, but I think I've definitely come to a conclusion. This is the album. So, as you guys know, I was getting into Uriah Heep a lot this month. Most notably, this album, because I talked about Look at Yourself in the last video, I think. I might be wrong though, but this one, I'll show it to you guys now anyway, just in case I haven't. So these two albums are the two Uriah Heep albums that I've been very obsessed with this month, particularly Look at Yourself, because that one is one that my dad recommended to me, and this one is one that I listened to because I was curious about it, and I knew one song off it, obviously Easy Living, and I was just interested to know what the rest of the album was gonna hold. And it was fantastic. I really loved it. Rainbow Demon is probably my favourite on this album. It's fantastic. It's got such a cool intro, and it's very heavily keyboards based, this band, but these two albums are great, and this one, it has July Morning, which is one of my favourite songs at the moment, so definitely check this one out, and also this one. Okay, so the next album, I've been listening to so much Pink Floyd this month. I've been just going back through their discography and listening to it and discovering some new stuff. So I'm going to show you all the stuff of Pink Floyd that I did listen to. It was mainly Live at Pompeii, but I don't have a physical copy of that. I've just been listening to it on Spotify and also watching the movie. I watched it quite a lot this month. I don't know, something I really like about it. It's really cool. But in terms of albums, first one was The Wall. Oh, wrong way around. The Wall. Me and Yoan listened to this one together, I think. It was after we did the Pink Floyd... Was it after we recorded the Pink Floyd video with my dad? We listened to this, I swear.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that was when we listened to it. And it was very good. I didn't realise how good it was until I re-listened to it, because I thought it was, like, average. And then I listened to it and I was like, okay, maybe it's a bit more above average now. Like, I've been getting to know a little bit more. I guess I just really like structure, because I really like Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which has a very similar structure. Also, something we picked up when we went to Camden was this nice little bootleg of outtakes and all that. We were listening to that a lot this month. It was very good. I liked this a lot. And my favourite album of all time, possibly, and my favourite, you know, progressive album, I don't know, my favourite Pink Floyd album as well, Animals. I've been visiting this every month this year, and in particular this month, because I've had a bit of a rocky month, and this is one that I usually go to when I'm not feeling great. So I've been listening to this one a lot, and I always forget, when I don't listen to this album, I always forget how good it is. Yeah, I was listening to it the other day while I was cleaning my room, and I was just thinking, oh my god, this album is so good. It's probably my favourite album of all time. Yeah, you know what? It is my favourite album of all time. So this is such a fantastic album, and definitely one that I've revisited this month. Alright, so we have a few left. As I said, this isn't going to be a long video. Hopefully next month will be a bit more eventful. But I listened to 90125 by Yes. This is one of the only Yes albums that I hadn't listened to yet. I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't think I'd like this album very much because of what I know about 80s progressive rock, so I was kind of worried getting into it, but it ended up being fantastic and I really do love it. You know, I obviously love Owner of a Lonely Heart, but Changes and Cinema were also my favourites from this album. This was fantastic. Such a great album, and one that you guys should definitely check out if you haven't yet. And there's a lot of split opinions on this, whether or not it's a good album or not. I say take everything you know about 70s Yes and push it aside just for this album, and also Drama. Those two are very different to the classic Yes 70s sound, but this is very, very good. And I'm glad they brought John Anderson back for this album. So, as you guys know, for those who follow me on Twitter, I put up a post saying, I want to get into Electric Light Orchestra, where do I start? Just tell me what albums to listen to and I will go ahead and do it. And that's what I did. And I ended up finding a copy of a New World record at in Camden Market somewhere. But I listened to the whole thing this month and I really, really loved this. This is such a wonderful album. And Telephone Line, even though I think it's the single, I think it's my favourite still on the album. It's so wonderful. I love this so much. And I'm really getting into their sound now. And I'm on the fence of, is it prog or not? I don't think it is, but they have got progressive rock elements, if that makes sense. But this is amazing. Definitely one to check out, and definitely one I will be revisiting in the next couple of weeks, because there are a lot of albums that I'll talk about that I don't revisit for a long time, but I will definitely be revisiting this one because this one was very, very, very good, and one that I will recommend to you guys who haven't heard it yet. So I really enjoyed it, and you will probably too. Okay, straying away slightly from progressive rock, I listened to this album this month, Computer World, and this is by Kraftwerk, the German electronic group. This is a fabulous album that I got into because I had listened to a couple of their other albums. I listened to Autobahn and, what's the other one? The Man Machine. Those two I'd listened to. And so I picked up this one when we went to Camden again and re-listened to it and really, really enjoyed it. I really love the atmosphere of this album. It's just so nice. You know, I don't know, something about it that I just really, really like, and I can't really put my finger on it, but it is very, very good, and I recommend this to anyone out there who likes electronic music. I'm sure you already are familiar with them. They're very, very widely known, but Computer Love is probably my favourite on the album, and I'm hoping to listen to more of their albums because I've got one of their other albums, but I can't remember which one it is. But this one is probably my favourite of the bunch now. Okay, and that is the end of this month's July listens. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you have been listening to this month. You've probably been listening to a lot more than I have. Thank you to everyone who was very supportive of my little rant before my video yesterday. I really appreciate that, and I'm thankful that you guys can understand boundaries and the privacy that I have. And there were a few people that were like, well, blah blah blah. No, I don't need to tell you guys everything about my life. You know, I'm as open as I want to be on YouTube. I don't feel like I need to be any more open because, you know, with all due respect, I don't really know any of you lot out there. So it'll be a little bit weird for me to just say, oh, here's where I work and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for being understanding, and I will probably be uploading a video just about boundaries and privacy because a lot of people still don't understand where I'm coming from. And, you know, I do block these people, I do all of that stuff that you guys have been saying, but it needs to stop. You need to respect my personal boundaries. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for that little ranty end there, and I will see you hopefully during the week. Bye bye.